Bros, I'm gonna do a little critique, a quick critique of Jeff Nippard's video, man. It's a joke, bro. It's funny. Anyway, let's critique this.
It's an important muscle, and as we go, we'll consider which variations will target which head. And along the way, we'll see that there's some decent evidence that you most likely can target your biceps peak, and there's one exercise in particular that I think you should definitely include if you're trying to bring up your
All right, I'm gonna react to this video, and I'm gonna explain something really quick, okay, just so you understand.
peaks. Now, the biceps perform two main biomechanical functions: elbow flexion, which is when you bend your elbow like in a curl, and supination, which
Yeah, we know that. I mean, he thinks we're really that dumb, but okay.
is when you turn your palm facing up. You can try this out for yourself. If you start with your palm facing down, and then slowly
Yeah, what does that have to do with anything, man? Get on with the point, dude.
turn it up, you'll notice that your biceps
He'll get on with it. I'm just joking, bro. Listen, it's the next part when he's talking. I'll explain this.
automatically contract. And I cue for this supination by thinking about driving through my pinky
He's driving. Notice how hard it was for him to go up to the top. He's like squinting so hard. It's going up, oh, but then the relief going down. The relief.
as I curl. Both heads of the bicep
Want to know why? We want to know why people do that? Because they're weak. You want to know why they're so weak when they bring up a heavy weight to the top? Because they never built any muscle to make that weight feel light. See, it should feel light when you do it, but you never built any muscle to make it feel light. You understand me? You never built any muscle bringing it up because you forego the eccentric. You understand me? You forego doing eccentric overload to build muscle. Get it? So then the concentric would be light when it came up. You wouldn't have to struggle at doing that. See what I mean? Anyway.
also cross the shoulder joint, which means the biceps will be more stretched when the arm is held.
The biceps will be more stretched, but they won't be overloaded. See what I mean? Here's the thing. They will be stretched, but guess what? They will not be overloaded. You understand me? Look.
Back behind the torso. Okay.
See that? He stretched. They're lengthening. I don't know about stretching. They're lengthening. You could call it stretch, whatever. But they're not being overloaded. That's the difference. They're not overloaded.
Let's start with the most popular biceps exercise of all time.
They do not grow from being stretched. They damage from being overloaded. They do not damage from being stretched. Get it? With something very light that you're adapted to already. They damage when they're overloaded in the eccentric form. Get it? Yeah.
The barbell curl. Right away, we can see that tension on the biceps isn't exactly optimal. The hardest part of the range is when the elbow is at 90 degrees, and above that, tension goes down.
Why is it the hardest when it gets to that point? Because you're doing concentric, you're focused on concentric, it's too heavy going up to the top because you're too weak, because you didn't build any muscle.
Below that, tension also goes down until it reaches zero tension.
The tension goes down. There's no tension there because it's light going down. It's lighter going down than when it was going up. Because if you could handle it going up still, regardless of how much you put on there, then it's too light going down. It'll be less than half that weight going down.
At the very bottom. And the very bottom is also when the biceps are most stretched. So this most likely isn't ideal.
Yeah. At the bottom is when they're stretched, but not overloaded. That's the difference. The difference here is they're stretched, but not overloaded, so they won't damage. If they're not overloaded, they're not going to damage. Unless, of course, you do like 100 sets with that little light weight, keep like stretching it like a million times over and over again. That's going to take a lot of work. Here's the thing. Here's the problem. You can still damage this in the eccentric form probably using this weight. But guess what? You're going to have to do astronomically a large amount of sets and keep it to about 12 repetitions. Why is that? Because the weight is light. So you're going to have to do more of it to cause it to damage. So can you damage it with this lightweight? Yeah, but you're going to be in there doing so many sets, like, I don't know, maybe 50 sets of 10 reps because there's no load there. There's no load. So you can do less on an overload. Get it? Overloading it, you could do less and still get more. So you'll never get more out of this exercise. And anyways, he's adapted. Your eccentrics are adapted to these weights because they're light. They're not damaging. And you're only doing a couple of sets and a couple of reps anyway. So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter.
But you'll still grow your biceps as long as you're pushing hard. And the barbell curl.
No. As long as you're pushing hard there, you will not still grow your biceps. They will not grow. They will pump glycogen. Here's the thing. Pumping glycogen in your muscle after you stop lifting, it can last up to about a year. But I guarantee you, after 1 year, those glycogen loads will go away. They'll start disappearing really fast. So you can kind of maintain them for about a year. For some people, I don't know. For about a year at the maximum. But they'll go away. They'll go away. And now you have to be a lifting slave in the gym to maintain these sarcoplasmic glycogen phony muscles in the gym all the time. That's the crazy part.
Is very good for overload. You can easily add a little weight each week.
Because remember, concentric pumps muscles, pumping them with glycogen. Eccentric damages them. Pumping going up, damaging going down. There we go.
The biggest issue is that the straight barbell puts some strain on my wrists. Plus, in public gyms, hugging up a squat rack just to do curl.
See this? He's throwing the weight up and down. So there's even minimal work being done here. Very minimal. Look at it. And he's keeping his elbows bent going down. Want to know why? Because he's weak. He's scared. He's scared that if he was to extend his arm out in the eccentric, he would rip the muscle right off the bone. And that would happen because he's weak. He's weak, and he's weak even throwing it up and down. That's what happens with most people when you don't do properly exercise. When you don't exercise properly using the eccentric form for bodybuilding, then this is what happens to you. You become like these lifting slaves in the gym, throwing these weights around, tossing them, bouncing them off your shoulders, bouncing them off your chest, bouncing them up and down in the air, bro. I see people doing this all the time. They call it cheat curls, cheat bench press, cheat this, cheat that, whatever the hell they're doing. They're cheating. It's all bullshit.
Curls is bad etiquette. That's because you can do curls so many different ways.
See how it leaned into his hips there? Yeah, man. He kept his arms bent in. He was scared. Because he's weak.
You really need a squat rack to do barbell squats. All things considered, I think the barbell curl belongs in C tier plus, but I'll bump it up to B tier just because it's so accessible. The easy bar curl is the same thing, except the handles curl.
The same thing. I'm just using this as an example. This can apply to all your exercises, not just arms, okay? I gotta go. I'll see you in the next one. You tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe. So remember, stretching is not gonna build your muscle, but guess what? Overloading it in the stretch will. How is it going to do that? By damaging it. See you in the next one. Ciao, friends.